So, what do the best managers actually do? It's a role we all interact with, but the really great ones, they just seem to be playing a different game. They aren't just sending emails or running meetings, they're operating a powerful system. And today, we're going to break down that exact system, the blueprint for turning ideas into reality. We have to start right here because honestly, this quote is the entire ballgame. A fantastic manager can make a pretty boring job feel incredible, right? But a bad one? A bad one can absolutely ruin your dream job. That single relationship dictates pretty much everything. And that's why this isn't just a topic for bosses, it's for anyone who wants to succeed at work. So what's the secret sauce? It's definitely not about charisma or having the corner office. It turns out that great management is a system. It's built on just a handful of core functions and skills. If you master them, you can lead. But if you ignore them, well, you just create chaos. So let's break that system down piece by piece. Okay, first up, let's really nail down why this role is so incredibly critical. In a world that's always changing, a good manager isn't just a boss. They're the stabilizing force that holds everything together. You can think of a manager as kind of an operational hub. When things get crazy, they bring clarity. When leadership has some huge vision, they're the ones who create the actual plan to get it done. And most importantly, like that opening quote said, they are the direct link to the team's motivation. That connection can either supercharge productivity or it can grind it to a complete halt. All right, so we've covered the why. Now let's get into the who and the where. Before we can really dig into what managers do, we need to be crystal clear on who we're talking about and the environment they work in. Now, this definition seems simple, but the key words here are incredibly powerful: coordinates and oversees. See, a manager's success isn't measured by what they do. It's measured by what they enable other people to do. It's a huge shift in thinking. And every single manager operates inside of an organization. And whether that's a tiny startup or a giant hospital, all organizations, no matter how different they look, are built on the exact same 3 pillars. Every organization has a purpose, a goal it's trying to hit. It has people to achieve that goal, and it has a deliberate structure to keep everyone organized. And it's that structure that creates the different levels of management. That deliberate structure we just mentioned, it almost always ends up looking like a pyramid, with 3 very distinct levels, and each one has a very different job to do. At the very top of that pyramid, you have your executives. You can think of them as the ship's navigators. They're looking way out at the horizon. Their job isn't to row the boat, but to set the final destination and chart the course for everyone else. Okay, next up are the middle managers. If top managers are the navigators, these folks are the ship's officers. They take that big picture course from the top and they turn it into concrete commands and tactical plans for the crew. They are the essential bridge between the vision and the actual action. And finally, we have the first-line managers. They are right there on the deck with the crew, making sure the day-to-day work actually gets done. They manage the people who are actually rowing the boat, making sure everyone is in sync and has exactly what they need to execute the plan. So, from the CEO all the way down to the shift supervisor, what's actually in their toolkit? Well, it turns out every single manager, no matter the level, relies on the exact same set of core functions and skills to get the job done. This right here, this is the manager's operating system. And you have to see it as a continuous loop. You start with a plan. Then you organize your team and resources to make it happen. You lead them through the work. And finally, you control by monitoring the results and making corrections, which, of course, feeds right back into a new plan. Plan, organize, lead, control. It's a cycle that never, ever stops. And to run that operating system, managers need 3 types of skills. Technical skills, that's the what, knowing the actual work, whether it's coding or accounting. Human skills, that's the who, the absolutely critical ability to work with people. And conceptual skills, that's the why, the ability to see the whole big picture and understand how all the pieces connect. And here it is. This is the key insight that defines a manager's entire career path. Early on, you get promoted because of your technical skill. You're the best engineer or the best salesperson. But to keep moving up, you have to let go of that. Your success starts to be defined by your conceptual skill, your ability to strategize and see the whole chessboard. It is a huge shift, and it's where a lot of new leaders get stuck. So you've got the functions and you've got the skills, but how do you measure success? What's the end game? Well, it all boils down to 2 very important words: efficiency and effectiveness. This distinction is absolutely everything. Efficiency is about doing things right. It's like climbing a ladder as fast as you possibly can. But effectiveness is about doing the right things. It's about making sure that ladder is leaning against the right wall in the first place. You can be perfectly efficient at a task that adds zero value. A great manager makes sure the team is working on the right things in the right way. Okay, let's bring this all back home, back to you. Because even if you never have the official title of manager, trust me, you are already managing something. These principles are totally universal. This is a principle called the universality of management. And all it means is that this blueprint we've been walking through, it's not just for corporate boardrooms. These same rules of planning, organizing, and leading apply absolutely everywhere. I mean, think about it for a second. Planning a project at work, organizing a fundraiser for your community, even just coordinating a trip with your friends. It's all management. You're managing resources, you're managing goals, you're managing people. Understanding this blueprint doesn't just make you a better employee. It helps you understand how organized human effort actually works, period. And that kind of leaves us with one final thought. We've laid out all the functions, the skills, the structures, the science of management. But dealing with people, inspiring a team, navigating really complex situations, that often feels a lot more like an art. So what do you think? The best managers, I bet, are a perfect blend of both. They master the system, but they never ever lose that human touch.